My name is Cindy. I majored in biology and I have $35,000 in student
I have a
loans.
BA in film and television producing, and I have a debt of $65,000.
And my debt is about $33,000.
This video, created by the Field Advertising, shows the many faces of student loan debt. Some believe this could be the source of the country's next financial crisis. That's because there are approximately 37 million student loan borrowers with outstanding student loan debt in the United States today, totaling nearly $1 trillion. 30% of that total probably will never be repaid, and almost none of it can be forgiven through bankruptcy. Now, Congress is considering legislation that would allow private student loan debt to be wiped out in a bankruptcy, like most other kinds of debt. Private student loan debt is debt held by private banks instead of the government and represents about 15% of the $1 trillion total. It can be forgiven through bankruptcy, but only under special circumstances.
In most jurisdictions, there's a test used to determine whether that debt can be discharged.
Veteran Plantation, Florida bankruptcy lawyer Moffa Bonacquisti says there's a three-part test used to determine if a bankruptcy court can wipe out private student loan debt.
First, you have to show that the debtor, the person who owes the debt, cannot maintain a minimal lifestyle for himself, a minimal standard of living for himself and his dependents.
Second, you must prove the debtor's circumstances will last a prolonged period of time, caused, for instance, by an illness or accident. And third, you must show the debtor has acted in good faith. For the overwhelming majority of student loan debtors, bankruptcy is no help, and their payments seemingly never end. The government can demand payment for decades, even garnishing Social Security and retirement funds. The IRS can do the same to recover overdue taxes, but the IRS has a 10-year time limit on collecting.
Enough should be enough, and people should be able to move on.
The near impossibility of private student loan debt to be forgiven in bankruptcy, something Bonacquisti believes was driven by the banks.
There is no policy justification for this that I've ever seen. It's just something that was on the wish list of the banks. They did a lot of lobbying and they got what they wanted.
Bonacquisti says the proposed legislation before Congress now is only a threat to commercial banks. But even so, one respected tracking website gives the legislation only a 1% chance of ever becoming law. In Miami, I'm Amber Statler-Matthews for the Lawyers.com channel.